Come on in here. Come on in here. Come get some of this. Glad to be here. I'm gonna give you a couple seconds for everybody to come in. I just want to share a few thoughts on today, this afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's looking forward to this being the best year of your life and even going further for the years to follow, is what I'm saying. So today I was thinking about how we talk ourselves into being broke, or how we talk ourselves into having less than what we truly desire or deserve, or how we pretty much guarantee that we'll always be lacking or be in need. And I don't necessarily mean out on the street, like that. I mean, having the capacity to have a whole lot of money, but then sabotaging and undercutting yourself to make sure you're just pretty much getting by. And I don't even mean getting by as in like getting the water turned off, but getting by as in you look over there and like, okay, they doing like me, so I don't need to strive. Or I look over there and like, okay, as long as I'm equal to, the whole Joneses game, as long as I'm equal to the Joneses, I'm good. Never trying to lift your name above that, but just being okay with being okay. And the funny thing is, it's not okay. So I put together a list of excuses that we use to stay stagnant, excuses that we use to stay what I call broke. And when I say broke, I don't mean you have any money. I mean you have way less than what you should have based on your talent, skills, and ability. That's what I mean. So I'm going to go through the list. We're going to discuss it a little bit. I won't be before you that long today, but I do feel like these are important reasons for us to discuss, important ideas that we just probably brush off as just regular talk, but they actually have a command over your life. Because when you speak these things, you're telling yourself to deliver this result to me. Now, to some people, it may be you're just so used to saying it and you grew up saying it, so it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. That's not the reason, but I'm telling you, it is the reason. You know how powerful words are and powerful words can be. And if you keep saying it over and over again, your subconscious mind says, okay, that's a command I'm supposed to follow. So if you tell yourself, I'm going to be broke all the time, your subconscious says, well, okay, let me make sure I create the environment so he or she will be broke as long as they keep telling me this, because the subconscious mind doesn't know right from wrong. The subconscious mind doesn't know up from down. It just knows what you tell it to do and it carries it out. Now, I get into a more in-depth discussion about the subconscious and conscious mind later on, but just know your mind has I'll call it a gravity that keeps it wherever it tells it to go. It's basically like a genie. You tell it what you want and it gives that to you regardless of everything else that happens. So if you keep telling your subconscious mind that I'm prosperous, at some point when you tell it that enough, it's going to make sure that your internal thermostat is set to prosperity. You know how the thermostat works in your house? You set it on 75. If it goes below 75, it adjusts the temperature and says, okay, let me adjust to bring it back up to 75. If it goes above 75, which normally it won't, let's just say technically it does. If it goes over and it goes up to 78, it's going to bring the temperature back down to 75 because you're the one who set the temperature. So just like success and money and relationships, all that, you set the temperature. So the stuff that you tell yourself is setting the temperature, and all your subconscious mind knows how to do is deliver that result. So whatever you tell your mind, your subconscious mind, it takes it as true and it takes it as a command and say, okay, fine, we'll give you that. So if you tell it bad stuff that's unnoteworthy, it's going to give you that stuff. If you tell it positive, inspiring, wealthy, prosperous things, you're going to manifest that. A lot of times what happens is people think that since I don't get it immediately, that it's not happening, not knowing that a habit takes time to change. It's like turning the submarine around. You don't just turn around like you would on a motorcycle. It takes time and intent to slowly turn it around to go the direction you want to go. That's with life. If you've been doing something for 40 years one way, it's not going to change overnight. Or should I say, it's not going to happen overnight as far as the result you want. Now, you'll change your mind and you start working in that direction, but you won't arrive there till a little while later. And that little while later is what we don't want to experience. We don't want the pain of change. We don't want We get so caught in inertia, which is basically going in one direction and staying in that state. And we get so caught up in that we don't want to change. So then we start looking at, well, what's it gonna cost me to change? What kind of pain will I feel to change? What will people say about me if I change? Will I lose friends? Will I lose status? Will I lose money? What will I lose if I change? Instead of wondering, what will I gain when I do change? Because we set these dreams and goals and aspirations and say, we want this, we want that. But most of the time, it's just lip service. It sounds good to say. Especially sounds good to say to other people. We never think about how good it would make us feel to really get to the point where money is no worry. How would it feel? Tell me below, how would it feel to know that all your bills are paid and all the fun stuff you want to do in addition, you don't have to worry about it. You just punch the numbers in and it's gone. You don't have to budget. You don't have to worry. You don't have to, none of that stuff. You just do and it's gone. What would your life be like if you felt that, if you experienced that? How would you feel being able to tell your kids, you want to go to what college? Okay, write the check, boom. What would it feel like to take your wife on a trip and you tell her wherever you want to go, cost doesn't matter. Key, cost doesn't matter. How would that feel for her just to be able to have everything she'd ever wanted? Husbands, how would it feel if your wife just told you, baby, whatever you want, cool. We don't even worry about the price. Imagine not worrying about the price. Imagine not worrying about the cost. Now, I know some of you may say, well, Norris, that sounds unrealistic, but if the world is truly abundant and God is truly abundant and he grants you abundance and abundance is available to you if you do certain things, why would cost even matter? Because you know that it would always come back to you in one way or the other. Why would that even matter? Why are we taught this whole scarcity mentality? Why is that let me not get too deep into that. That's a conversation for a whole other time. But I just want to give you an idea of the mindset that it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to lack. You don't have to want. You don't have to plead. You don't have to go without. You don't have to justify going without so that you don't have to feel the pain of actually going without. Stop justifying your mediocrity. Stop justifying and looking around and say, well, I grew up this way. And he's like that and she's like that and their family's like that. And we ain't had nothing. And why? Why do we justify that too? It doesn't make the pain go away. It kind of covers it up and it makes it look better, but it's still a pile of dung that you just put something nice over. To quote Dr. Berwick Davenport, I'm using the G-rated version, but you're just dressing it up, making it look good, but it's still a pile of dung. Anyway, let's keep going. Some of us have said these things to ourselves, to our family, friends, neighbors, and we just think that's just how it is. There's no such thing as that's just how it is. Now, there's a such thing as this the way it's always been, which means there's still time to right the ship. So this is all about righting the ship. So one of the things we hear is money is the root of all evil. I'm sorry for the church folk watching. Technically and literally, the love of money is the root of all evil. I can't say I fully agree with that because I think it's the lack of money that's the root of all evil. Now, let's put it in context. So some people are going to get upset because I said that. Let's put it in context. You can use money to do a whole lot of good things. You need money to keep the lights on. You need money to eat food, money to pay for your car, money to buy clothes, money to buy nice things. You need money as a means of exchange to live life like you want to live it. Pretty much everything costs some kind of money somewhere down the road. So there's no need to be in fear of it. Now, if you're using money to take advantage of people, to take what's rightfully not yours, using money. If you're using money in any kind of evil way, hell yeah, that's wrong. I'm not in favor of that. But money in itself is not good or bad. It's the utility of that money that determines if that person is good or bad. You know, a lot of people say that money doesn't change you one way or the other. It just exposes who you really are on a bigger scale. So if you were always an evil person, which I've seen, you know, people always say evil people are rich. I've seen a plenty of evil poor people too. So it goes both ways. But if money was truly the root of all evil in itself, money is not a thing. It's just a means of exchange. It's not a thing. So it comes down to who are the people dealing with the money. Now, have people use money to do evil stuff? Forever. People have used money to do all manipulative, evil, all that stuff. But that doesn't mean everybody that has money is an evil person. And that doesn't mean that every use of money is an evil use. You can do some tremendous things with money. And those are things I want to focus on. So the focus should be more on good people doing good stuff with money as opposed to money itself being evil. Because if you manifest in your mind that money is evil, you will repel it and push it away, because you're basically saying that stuff is evil. I don't want any parts of it. So any good that you could have done with the money, you're not going to be able to do it now because you said it's evil. So why would it even want to come to you to be utilized anyway? Because you said it's evil. So we got to get that out of our minds. Another thing is, a lot of people say, well, you have to be lucky or born in the right family to be rich or have plenty of money. Does that happen? Yes. Paris Hilton, yes, that does happen. That absolutely happens. But you know, on the grand scale, how much that really happens across the board, the percentage is so small that it's almost irrelevant. And most of them end up doing like Paris Hilton does. She doesn't really do anything other than party and spend her time on tabloids and social media and stuff. That's just what she does. So if that's what she needs to do, fine. Now, if you're not lucky enough to be born into a family like that, you still have plenty of opportunity out here because you have talent, skills, and abilities that you were given from your creator to create whatever you want. You don't have to be a multi-billionaire to feel significant. You don't have to have tons of money to live a great life. There are plenty of people who live great lives without having tons of money. So you need to make sure you're not focused on what they have or what they do or how they were born. You need to worry about you and whatever your purpose may be. That's why I like in Napoleon Hill's 17 Principles of Success, the first one is definiteness of purpose. Definiteness of purpose is the very first one. Before everything else, not knowledge of money, not relationships, not friends, definiteness of purpose. You have a specific reason why you are here. And it's up to you to figure out what that is. And the hint that you'll have is there are certain things that you can do in a certain way that nobody else can do. Your uniqueness is your gold mine. I'll say it again. Your uniqueness is your gold mine. So I want you to focus on that. A lot of people say, well, you know, people are going to complain, but there's a certain reason why you can do what you do. I'll give you an example. I'm tall, but I'm not good at basketball. I can't sing and I can't dance, all the other stereotypical stuff. But speaking and teaching, I can do that with the best of them. I don't care who it is. I can do it with anybody because that's what God put in me before I came here. So I agreed before I came into this realm that I was going to teach. And he gave me, actually I have ancestors who are teachers too, up my lineage. And it just comes naturally to me. I get joy out of it. I love doing it. And it provides well for me. So you need to figure out what you can do. Like my brother is a very gifted athlete. Like he can pick up any ball, any stick. He can play any sport and be a professional just like that. He just has that. I didn't have that thing. He had that. And he had a very good career behind having that. And he still coaches and teaches now within the same realm. So it comes back to what is your definiteness of purpose? As a matter of fact, the exercise I want you to do after this is over is figure out and state to yourself what your definiteness of purpose is, because it'll give you all the energy, all the resources, all the plans to manifest whatever it is you need in this world based on your definiteness of purpose. So let's talk about another one. I don't know how to get rich. Some people say that. You know how much information is out here? You know, with the Googles and the online courses and the mentorship and seminars, there are just a few principles that you need to learn. One of them is leverage. Leverage means you can do more with less. That's basically simplistically what it means. You can do more with less. And there's two ways you use leverage, man and machine. So you hire somebody or you find a program or a system that does the work for you, because I'll just use, this is an extreme example, but Jeff Bezos, they have hundreds of thousands of employees. He couldn't do all that work himself, and he couldn't be a billionaire if it wasn't for all the employees that he has and all the systems he has in place to do what he has to do. So when it comes to building wealth, there's some kind of system you need to put together in order to manifest that. Now, it can be as small as a 1 or 2 or 3 person operation, or have 2 or 3 softwares or something working together to create that value to provide you with the life that you want to live. Everybody doesn't have a tremendously huge business. Take your mind off of that. He is a billionaire, fine. Admire that. But look at the principles of how he got to where he had, and you still can have everything you could ever possibly need. That's what you need to focus on. You quit worrying about, okay, Jay-Z is this, Jeff Bezos is that, Warren Buffett is that, all these other people. You know how many regular people on the street that look like I want to say paupers is the word I was looking for. They look like paupers that you would never know they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. See, everybody doesn't want to be in the limelight. Just because you don't see them on social media and on TV doesn't mean they're not a whole bunch of rich people out here that are the nicest people in the world. And if you saw them, you'd want to buy them some clothes. I've met several of them. I'm like, what? Those shoes look 20 years old, but a lot of them don't care about stuff like that. So figure out what's good for you. Let me see. We got another one here. Everybody can't be rich. Depends on your definition of rich. Now, if you mean by saying that everybody can't be a billionaire, that's true. If you mean everybody can't be a millionaire, that's pretty much true. Nor does everybody want to be one. I mean, there's abundance and there's the opportunity for everybody to be one, but just the natural order of things, everybody's not going to be one. But that doesn't mean you can't live well. That doesn't mean you can have every desire of your heart. That doesn't mean you can give and help people out. That doesn't mean you can live a wonderful life. We put too much stock into how much money we have as opposed to just getting the amount of money that we need to do everything we want to do. That's the key right there. That's rich. Is when you have everything you want and no complaints. Of course, your basic needs first and then your luxuries on top of that. And then whatever charity you might want to do on top of that, if charity is your thing. That's being rich. It's not looking and comparing yourself to somebody else. It's not the way this thing happens. So I teach a lot of that in my courses. And like I said, the book I mentioned is coming up. That's in there too. Let me pick one more. I have a pretty long list here, but I'm not going to go through all of them. Let me see. Someone will steal the money for me if I get rich. Here's a fear, because it does happen, especially in the days of high-level security and computers and all that kind of stuff. Money does get stolen. People do get robbed. They do break in your house. That stuff happens. But I also have friends whose houses have got broken in, and they just are regular people, have regular jobs or whatever. So I'm not saying one. Now, of course, it's more alluring to break into $1 million mansion because you feel like the propensity is that you'll get more if you break in a rich home. But that shouldn't keep you from still striving to be all you want to be, because things are just going to happen. That's the way life works. That's the way car accidents happen. Stuff, this is life. Stuff happens. So you should not pursue greatness because you're afraid somebody will take it away from you. That's like making an excuse to stay small, to stay safe. You don't have to be flashy. You don't have to have the biggest house on the block. You don't have to let everyone know that you are rich. There are ways around that. So that's just another excuse I want to talk about. And some people are like, well, to be rich, I have to work a whole lot. And I want to have a life. What kind of life do you have without the money? Would be my question. Are you working at a job that you can't stand and you hate? You're just settling? Most people I know are settling. They don't have to, but they choose to. Most people I know are straight up settling. And they justify settling by saying this is the way it is, or I don't have time, or I don't feel like it, or I got to do this with the kids, I got to do with that. My daddy always told me people have time for what they make time for. So it doesn't matter about opportunity or none of the other stuff. It's priority. What's priority to you? If being rich was priority to you, or not even being rich, just having plenty of money so that you can do everything you want to do was a priority, everything else would adjust itself around that, of that priority. When you tell the universe, this is my priority, everything gathers itself around that. That's all you have to do. You just haven't decided it's a priority. That's all it is. You haven't decided it's a priority. So until you decide that's a priority, you're going to continue with the excuses, continue to pop up. I can't do it. It's not me. It's not meant for me. You know, all these excuses, like I have like 20 of them here that I'll go over later on. But just to give you an idea, these are all stuff people made up. And they're justifying their position in life based on stuff like this because they don't really want to go for it. They're afraid to go for it. Then the fears are numerous, but normally the fear boils down to you don't believe enough in yourself. All this stuff boils down to you don't want to come out and say you don't believe in yourself enough. You don't want to come out and say that. So you dress it up real pretty with these and say, well, it's not that I don't believe in myself, because if you were to say you don't believe in yourself, you know how people would look at you, and you know how it would feel for you to know that other people know that you don't believe in yourself. So instead of coming out and admitting that and taking strategies to come out of that, you create these. So the same way you create these excuses, you can create a solution for yourself and your family. It's the same amount of energy. Why not just create a way out of that mediocrity, a way out of that just sameness and just being the same as everybody else, looking around and being comfortable? The most dangerous place the most dangerous place in the world is your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is never going to advance you. It don't even keep you safe. You may think it's keeping you safe, it's keeping you miserable, because you still want to go to places that are outside of your comfort zone. But when you go to the edge of your comfort zone, that fear meets you. When the comfort zone is like this and you get to this point, you stop, because fear is sitting right here like, don't come out here. We got something for you out here. And you're like, okay, well, I'll just sit here and I'm too afraid. My family's not worth me going outside my comfort zone. My kids are not worth me going outside my comfort zone. I'm not worth me going outside my comfort zone. So since I'm not worthy of it, I'm going to stay in here and just be normal and just be average. And I'm going to make average look damn good. I'm going to dress it up real pretty, put a bow on it, and be proud of being average. But I'm not going to say I'm proud of being average. I'm going to make up stuff to make it sound like I'm proud of being real, but I'm still just being average. And people that know. People that know, they see you. They know you faking. They know you scared as hell of trying anything. They know that you made a laundry list of demands for yourself to stay that same way and not really challenge yourself. Now look around yourself. I don't even want you to look at you. Look around at yourself. How many people do you know that are living life average and they don't have to? How many people do you know that have some kind of skill or ability or will or gift that they can do anything in the world they want to do, but they sit in the same spot year after year and complain? And you know, if they applied themselves, they could be great. They could be more than you looking at them, no, they could be more than they could ever imagine. How many people you know like that? I bet it's a whole bunch of people like that. I bet it's you all day long. So with that being said, the book is getting ready to come out. I want you to check it out. Like I said before in my last live, if the pre-sales of the book, Make More Money, is something you're interested in, you want to come aboard with us and take this journey with us, it's going to be a lot more off. Even after the book and its course is coming and all that, say I'm in the comments below. I've taken over 20 minutes of your time today. I try to be brief, but I get excited. This is what I like to do. So I came into the office today and just so I could be in front of you. And I'm steadily pushing you to be your better self. This is, like I said before, this is spiritual food for me. This is how I feed me. Now, I know I talk about self all the time, and you say, well, North, you're taking time to teach us all this stuff. Not really. I'm not really doing it for you for the most part. I'm doing it for me because this is what I was called to do. So spiritually, I'm eating dinner right now. Spiritually, I'm getting fed because I'm doing what I promised I would come here to do. So now I'm sharing with you and hoping that something inside you become inspired so you can become who you want to be. Excuse me for that. I'm having fun. So with that being said, make sure you hit below and say, I'm in. If the book More Money, Make More Money is something you're interested in, and I also have an upsell behind it. If you want to go even further, there's a first offer is the book. If you just want the book by itself, you can get that. If you want the audio book in addition to it and a worksheet to apply all the information in the book, that will be the second offer. And also have a course that's coming that'll be teaching a lot of this stuff too. So I'm having fun. I love it. The invitation is there for you. Look, like I say at the end of every video, if you remember nothing else I say, remember this: in order to build wealth, you got to first build yourself. In order to build wealth, you got to first build yourself. Hey, take care, have fun. I enjoyed it. We'll see you.